Okay, welcome to all of you out there for what promises to be a great encounter. I'm sure you all recognize Bob Bifford, who is sitting right beside me, and who'll be giving us some of his expert insight into the match.
Hi there.
There's such a difference between the level of the two teams. You've got to be slightly worried. The players are positioned and we're off.
He's recovered the ball.
Did you hear about the Evil Gits? The team that is made up of the mix of evil players?
Their fans won the Most Evil Supporters of the Year award. Fully merited from what I've seen. Incoming!
Well, it is a violent sport. One regulation clobbering.
That player's gonna wake up with a serious headache. Incoming!
Well, it is a violent sport.
I think she's singing him a lullaby. You have to be counted to 10 to be officially knocked out.
In his case, I think they could count to 5,000, and it wouldn't change a thing. Is it true that most of the Amazon team's devoted fans consist of young men, Bob?
Not at all, Jim. I've heard a large portion of their fan base consists of disgruntled homemakers and countless scores of former Bloodwiser babes.
Aha! That would explain why the Amazon fans had their own fans themselves. It seems this player does all the talking with the fists.
And they clearly know how to get heard.
Hold still, and then pow! Right in the face!
Ha ha! Stunned!
What an idiot!
In a game as physical as this, the player is really in the right place.
Exactly, it's really ugly. This player has opened the slapping box and gives rather generously.
Corruption so widespread that the Referees Guild has set out rules concerning where, when, and how one can accept a bribe.
Under an agreement signed last season, clubs are not allowed to offer less than the going rate.
Ouch! Have a nice sleep.
Little baby gets his medicine and he's having a little nap. She sent him down for a chat with the Astrogranite. Well, that'll keep him quiet for a while.
Yeah, he's just stunned, not dead.
No doubt Tomolandry, the Necromancer, is the most famous undead coach out there.
Of course, Bob. He's the head coach of Champions of Death.
Not only that, Jim, he was the first Necromancer to resurrect a dozen skeletons and give them knowledge of the game, a trend that was quickly followed.
What finesse, what style, what perfection.
What a hammer blow!
Nice dodge. And don't forget, children, don't try and do this at home. Remember, these are seasoned professionals.
Well, one of them is anyway.
Oh, the Amazons!
Yes, Jim. Scantily dressed women that hit first and ask questions later.
Yes, Bob, I just wish there were more women like that.
Don't we all, Jim? Don't we all?
Today's insight comes from Jaime Schnivel, coach and owner of the Goblin Lowdown Rats team. In yesterday's Spike magazine, he said that Blood Bowl was like war. No winners, just survivors.
Oh, that's deep. About as deep as his team's position in the rankings. Years of training have gone into that stamping action.
As they say, practice makes perfect.
Yep, upside down. That's one way to look at things.
Instant stun.
What a sissy. That one can't hold the ground.
Ouch! I think young viewers should close their eyes. This violence is barely acceptable.
Nonsense, Jim. It builds character.
We are especially lucky that nowadays necromancy is allowed.
Not too sure that the other teams are that thrilled.
That's the point, Bob.
Ah, yes. It's thrilling, Jim.
Wow! I can tell you straight, that hurts. Back in the days, there were no undead teams.
Could you perhaps explain why to the fans at home, Jim?
Ah, well, it's simple. There wasn't anyone around to raise the dead yet, Bob.
No, sorry, too complicated for me.
That reminds me of when I took Griff to bits in the 91 final against Reichland.
Oh, yeah. You kneecapped him. She's got the ball. You can't say much about that.
Full-blooded, but perfectly legal. That's what happens when a pro crosses an amateur.
Yes, splotch.
What violence!
Yes, it's a great spectacle, Bob.
A recent medical report stated that cerebral hemorrhages were less frequent in Blood Bowl players. Amazing when you come to think of it.
Not really, when you consider that brains are also less frequent.
Yep, upside down. That's one way to look at things.
That right hook was worthy of a black orc.
You're telling me it'll take a while to get over it.
Touchdown ahoy!
These exotic Blood Bowl players are fairly new to the game, Jim.
Yes, Bob. They mesmerize me every time they enter the pitch.
Ah, yeah, Jim. These Lustrian Amazons sure have added some flavor to the game.
Look at that. Whoa!
Oh, wow! Ow!
This player was really strong. Do you think they have some troll blood in them?
Could be. Or maybe his opponent shouldn't speak that way about the family.
It seems this player does all the talking with the fists.
And they clearly know how to get heard.
Now, there's one that won't be coming back in a hurry. Funny how his head went one way and the body the other. No!
Okay, it's halftime. No doubt the players will be grateful for a rest.
And the supporters glad for the opportunity to rebuild their stocks of missiles.
Every now and again, Blood Bowl throws up a real mixed bag of the two.
Like the motley horde that's made up of a bunch of misfits.
Yeah, can't be easy to coach those cast-offs every day of the week.
Brilliant side kick to the face. Let's see that again in slow motion.
poetry in motion.
What we'd like to see
More often.
Did you know that Champions of Death's mummies are rediscovered Blood Bowl players?
Yes, of course, Jim. Everyone knows they're 8,000 years old.
I guess that makes it old news, Bob.
That's not funny, Jim. Seriously, you need some new material.
Hook was worthy of a black hawk.
You're telling me it'll take a while to get over it.
He checked that move.
Made him look stupid, you mean?
Boom! In the face, and then followed by a clean uppercut. Well done!
It seems this player does all the talking with the fists.
And they clearly know how to get heard.
I've heard of teams that have simply disappeared after being abandoned by their supporters.
Let's say that some teams who haven't won a match for several years have been tied up by their fans and thrown into rubbish containers.
It's the only way to end a downward spiral.
Finally, there's one that lets his biceps do the talking.
Yeah, but from his opponent's point of view, it was a short conversation.
You can't say much about that.
Full-blooded, but perfectly legal.
Look! They walk, they make noises, they score touchdowns!
Yes, Bob. They are old, undead Blood Bowl players. What did you expect?
Jim, it still just surprises me each time I see them on the pitch.
Ogres.
Did you know, Jim, that the Tlax Warriors were the first people to win the Zlatan Cup back in 2491?
You mean no one else had won the cup before, Bob?
No, it was the first time a non-lizard team participated in the Lustrian Cup, and the Amazons took it by storm and grabbed the trophy from Sotek's word.
Nice left punch, right on the nose.
Sure was, Jim. It's broken now. Boom! In the face, and then followed by a clean uppercut. Well done! That player seems stars now.
Funny for someone that wasn't really that bright. Yay! The living dead!
Now, I've always wondered if an undead player can die.
Of course they can, Bob.
Really, Jim?
One regulation clobbering.
I think she's singing him a lullaby. Without his armor, that player could have been hurt.
But it hurts. I can hear the scream.
The road to victory has just become a boom.
As long as they don't slip up on the dog poo.
There was a time when the colleges of magic hadn't yet ruled on limiting wizard assistance to teams.
Who could forget the infamous 2472 Quagmire incident, when rampant spellcasting caused the entire Bright Crusaders Stadium to sink into the earth?
Nobody could forget that. People were blinded for miles around the stadium. That's it. The ball's in play. There's going to be trouble.
Now, there's one that won't be coming back in a hurry. as soon as he throws his first punch.
We know the opponent will be out for lunch.
Wizards have not always been able to cast spells safely from behind the sidelines. Were you playing at the time in an Albion League, a second division that prohibited spellcasting from off the pitch?
Oh, yes. They were great times. I remember fans traveling to games just to see how well Wizards stood up to the mad charge of a raving BloodBowl star. The noise created by a sizzling fireball, followed by the characteristic sound of the snapping of a wizard's neck.
This player has opened the slapping box and gives rather generously. Hold still and then pow! Right in the face! Just look at the fans. They're red hot. A majority of supporters reckon that the league should take measures to prevent the small minority of peaceful fans from watching a match from the terraces.
They've got a point. If they don't want to join in the fun, they might as well stay home and watch it on Cablevision.
Well, that's one with a good reason to go see the apothecary.
Yep, looks like he's gonna need a good one.
You can't say much about that.
Full-blooded, but perfectly legal. That reminds me of when I took Griff to bits in the '91 final against Reichland.
Oh, yeah. You kneecapped him. We don't see much of the Heroes of Law these days.
I don't know.
For any spectators who aren't aware, the Heroes of Law hope to show the world a better way by honest, strategic play on the pitch.
It's probably a good thing we don't see them.
This player has opened the slapping box and gives rather generously.
Yep, upside down. That's one way to look at things.
victory in motion.
What we'd like to see
More often.
The Referees Guild has decided to hire a bodyguard for each game.
Another brilliant idea. And just how effective will one bodyguard be against a stadium full of supporters?
True, could be a bit one-sided.
Gonna get the hand slapped at the end of the match.
Better a smack on the hand than a punch in the face.
And the winning team goes around to salute the fans after this wonderful show.
Their weight and power is inversely proportional to their intelligence.
Yes, I'm not sure what their game plan was, but it certainly didn't involve the ball.
There can be no excuses. No balls, no victory.
I'm not sure that comment will come across as you meant it to sound. During the whole match, they made sure that the opposition kept to their side of the halfway line.
So, we're in for a dope-free match.
Well, on the pitch at least.
Funny how you get some refs who just can't let a match flow and others who just take a back seat.
Discreet, to say the least. But then discretion is the better part of valor.